Stars at night we both can see. Will I find my way home? You're beautiful to me, and now I see that beyond dead will find a place in this world, and I will follow, and you will come to me. The dreams of fallen souls.
And stuff from people watching the show if they prefer like one night a week being live and the rest pre-recorded, like crazy. But welcome back to another Time Warp Thursday on Talk Radio. Tonight we're going to dive into two of the most chilling and mysterious cases in true crime history, and these were featured on like the wife's playing some music. These cases were on Unsolved Mysteries, like with Robert Stack back in the day, like way back in the original like Unsolved Mysteries cases and stuff. So these two cases have been around a while, and they're still unsolved. So I figure, we'll talk about them and, discuss things, and maybe somebody out there that views my show would have an answer to something and somehow get some kind of answer to the questions of what happened and, all that stuff, and get some salvation to this thing. Sorry, that was me being a dork. But the Stockton Arsonist videotape and the 7-year torture of Cindy James. Those are the two little cases we will be talking about tonight. Both cases are terrifying, unsettling, and remain unsolved, as I said. One involves a serial arsonist who left behind a haunting videotape, while the other is the tragic, bizarre 7-year-long ordeal of a woman tormented by an unknown force. Were these cases the work of deranged criminals, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? See, you gotta have eyes for this stuff. And see, as soon as I was mentioning eyes, the screen blurred for a minute. It's the forces of Time Warp Thursday, the paranormal forces, making my show be like all weird. I don't understand it. It's not all me, it's the forces in this room. It's the ghosts and the things going on. So, let's break down these cases, the evidence, the theories, the lingering questions that still haunt investigators today. And I'll start off with some audience questions. Y'all can comment. So I want to try to do these audience questions to get kind of some interaction with my people that watch this. Have you ever heard of either of these cases before? And, with that, what's your initial thoughts? Like I said, they were on Unsolved Mysteries back in the day. I remember it because I'm an older folk, so back in the Robert Stack days of Unsolved Mysteries, I was still a young whippersnapper. Um, and if you had to choose, which case do you think is more likely to be solved? The arsonist or the torment of the lady? um, but that gets us into the Stockton Arsonist videotape. We'll start with that one. It happened in Stockton, California, as Stockton Arsonist. Time period: several months of intense arson attacks targeted abandoned buildings, homes, and businesses. Um, the pattern of it all, fires would erupt late at night, often in multiple locations, which is normal for an arsonist because arsonists like to go set blaze on everything. I was a semi kind of arsonist when I was a kid. I'd go set fire on things and stuff. So I was kind of going down that path of arsonist, but my stepdad just kind of put a halt to that. But the arsonists on this story, they left no evidence, no fingerprints, no suspects, or clear suspects. I can't speak. Okay. Authorities could not determine a clear motive even. Some fires appeared to be set for maximum destruction, targeting locations that would spread quickly. Investigators noticed a cluster pattern, suggesting the arsonists operated within a specific area before moving on. Like they'd stay in one area and just fire, and then move on, and they were always trying for, maximum destruction. They wanted to destroy some stuff with their fires. So it was kind of like a total destruction type fire. They wanted to burn down a house, they're gonna burn down the whole damn house. Not like set a wall on fire, but they set the whole dang house on fire. And then next little thing says the fear. Residents were terrified, fearing their homes and businesses would be next, which is normal when you get an arsonist, because you don't know who they're going to hit. If it's going to be your house, if it's going to be, say you own a business, if they're going to set business on fire or something. The fear of arsons are kind of freaky because you never know what's going to happen, and you never know who they're going to go after next. Because you don't know these people. It sucks. Firefighters were overwhelmed, struggling to keep up with the destruction. The media dubbed the unknown suspect the Stockton Arsonist, which is where they get the name. Some believe the fires were meant to send a message, but no group or individual claimed responsibility. Then the videotape surfaced and changed everything, and that's where, like, on the Unsolved Mystery show, they showed the video, and it was kind of like, dude was like talking. It was kind of weird. So here we go to discovery of the videotape. Reports vary. Some claim it was left at the crime scene. Others say it was mailed anonymously to police. What was on the tape? Footage of fires being set, possibly from the arsonist's perspective, like point of view. They're holding the camera. They set the fire. They want to put it right on their point of view, where like it looks like they looking at it. And then eerie narrations, like I was saying, whispers, laughter, or an unknown voice explaining the fires. But yeah, they'd be like whispering things or laughing. It would, the videos that they showed on Unsolved Mysteries were pretty creepy because the dude would be just like whispering and making weird little eerie talks about it. Some reports suggest first-person footage of flames consuming buildings. Others claim it contains aftermath footage, charred remains, news reports, and emergency responders. The tape was examined, but no identifiable features of the arsonist were found. So basically, they found the tape, but there was like no fingerprints, I guess. There was no like evidence of who the arsonist could be. Nothing they could take from it that would be like proof of who this person is, or whatever. So apparently they wore gloves at all times. So if they held the tape, they wouldn't get the fingerprints on it. And they taped like aftermath footage, like after the fire is going, and you see the fire trucks coming up and all that, first responders and stuff, and they're sitting there videotaping it from a distance, just to get that, like they like it or something. I don't know. So then we get into some theories of this whole thing. The first theory, a pyromaniac recording their work. An arsonist obsessed with fire, documenting their crimes as a form of personal gratification. Just kind of a way to, like, be proud of themselves for what they've done. And, oh, look at the beautiful fire I made. It's kind of disturbing and weird. Theory number 2, a taunt to authorities. Was the tape a warning, a challenge to law enforcement? Was the arsonist daring them to catch him? Like, was it a cat and mouse thing? Like, yeah, I set that fire. I made this video. You got this video now. Come find me, sucker. Kind of taunting the authorities, saying, I even got my voice on this thing, okay? So, come find me. And we'll see if you can find me. Theory number 3, copycat or accomplice. Could this have been the work of multiple people with one person filming and another setting the fires? Which could be a likely thing. Like maybe it's 2 people, one wanting to do the fire, one wanting to film the fire, and do the funny little whispers and laughs and evil sounding talking, and Theory number 4, a misleading clue. Could someone have planted the tape to mislead the investigation? Perhaps the arsonist wanted police to focus on false leads. That one, I could see something like that happening, but, earlier it said that it was mailed to somewhere or something like that, so why would it be misplaced or misled or whatever? Theory number 5, an unsolved psychological profile. Investigators believe the arsonist might have had compulsive tendencies, enjoying both the fire and the chaos it caused. And that's very likely too, because, if you got mental health problems and you got some kind of compulsive tendency towards fire, you're going to enjoy setting fires and videotaping your work and showing off your skills of setting things on fire. Like I say, when I was a kid, I experimented with setting fires and stuff and kind of trying to have some fun with a little bit of arsony, I guess, but it didn't go far because, I lived on a military base. They caught on fast, and my stepdaddy stopped that stuff right up. Boom, it was done. No more, John. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I won't set fire to the tree no more. So then what I do, I started throwing rocks onto the highway, which was, are not rocks, but crab apples, like these little crab apple trees. We had a crab apple tree in our backyard. So instead of arson, I just started picking the thing, throwing it on the highway. And then I hit a car, and the car had to come on base and get my dad to pay for his front window because I hit his front window of his car. I was a little alien when I was a kid, see. But these ain't, my childlike things aren't unsolved because everybody knows what I did as a kid. I don't keep no secrets. Unlike this arsonist fella, And with the arsonist, it could be any of those little theories. I mean, I don't see the misleading of the tape thing to force the police to focus on false leads. I don't see that because, they said it was found or mailed to them. So I don't know. But anything's possible in the world. I mean, I would say the pyromaniac recording their work and enjoying their work, what they did. That's kind of what I'm thinking. The person made the fire and wanted just memory of that. Just to give them that personal pleasure that they set fire to
It
someone's
was
house.
me.
And it was my wife. No, just kidding.
How do you know?
You wouldn't set fire to someone's house
How do you know? If they pissed me off, no.
in Stockton, California.
Oh yeah, no, I never lived in California.
Thank you. There we go. That one's solved. It's not her. But yeah, I'm all about the pyromaniac recording their work is one of the theories, because people like that are kind of twisted and they like having that little gratification that they did something evil and hurt
That's
someone
why a lot
else
of crimes, like
and
when it
stuff.
comes to murders or like rapists and stuff like that, when they do eventually get like caught, they're caught with like little trinkets, because people that commit crimes like that like to have little souvenirs of what they did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People who are sick like that, they like to have little
It was
mementos.
Wait, what year did this happen?
In the 80s or so.
Okay, so you guys didn't live there.
I don't have the exact date, but we never lived in Stockton anyways.
Doesn't mean you didn't travel.
We didn't travel to Stockton.
It was your Uncle Sean.
No, my cousin Sean lives in L.A.
Your Uncle Sean, you mean?
My Uncle Sean lives in L.A., yeah.
Who says he didn't travel?
She tried to throw it on my family.
It
It
was
was-
mom.
It wasn't none of my family. It wasn't
It
my
was your
mama.
mother.
It wasn't my mother. It could have probably been me if I wasn't a kid. If I was older and twisted like that, I could see me doing that. Like, set fire. So here's some audience questions, okay, just to kind of, do you think the videotape was left intentionally, or was it a mistake by the arsonist? Like they accidentally left it behind or something. And then if the arsonist was never caught, could they still be out there today? Which is duh.
My theory.
If they were never caught, of course they're still out there.
My theory is that it was left behind because they almost got caught. Like somebody showed up and they had to run real quick, and it got left behind because they didn't have time to grab it.
Yeah, they were in a hurry to run. But yeah, so to this day, the Stockton arsonist has never been identified. Whoever made that videotape vanished, leaving behind a city in fear and a case still shrouded in mystery. And then I did a little study, and I put, as of March 2025, there have been no significant new developments in the case of the Stockton arsonist videotape. The incident, which occurred in 1989, remains an unsolved mystery.
Oh, then it was my brother. He was born in 1989.
Recent discussions in media coverage, documentary features, the case continues to intrigue audiences, with features like the Mystery Files episode discussing the Stockton arsonist. Online discussions, true crime enthusiasts frequently revisit the case in online forums and social media platforms, sharing theories and insights. For instance, a Reddit thread discusses the arson case as part of the Mystery Files Season 2 trailer. And I wouldn't mind, my show being a part of that whole, discussion, online discussion, whether it's, online forums or social media platforms, or my YouTube channel right here, chatting on here. Leave your comments, what you think. That would be awesome. Key details of the case. Discovery of the tape in August of 1989. A family traveling near Stockton, California, found a VHS tape wrapped in a camouflage jacket by the roadside. The tape depicted a house engulfed in flames, accompanied by a male voice narrating the fire. Authorities traced the footage to an arson that occurred on August 15, 1988, at an unfinished house on Colton Court in Redwood City, approximately 80 miles from Stockton. The voice on the tape mentioned Omar, suggesting a possible personal motive. Near the site where the tape was found, investigators discovered items such as a pestle used in rituals, herbs, and a ceramic skull, hinting at possible occult connections. Now, in current status, despite these findings, the identity of the person responsible for the arson and the videotape remains unknown. The case
They
continues.
haven't bothered to do DNA, like get fingerprints off of the DNA from the jacket and that it was found in?
Apparently not.
That's weird. You'd think they would by now. Maybe it wasn't as prominent back then. Maybe they should like revisit the case and take some DNA. I mean, look, after all these years, they took DNA, from the Jack the Ripper stuff and have found stuff out about that.
Yeah, and yesterday's show I mentioned in the world news section, some lady's murder got solved by DNA.
So
after so
if they
long.
didn't try to get DNA from the jacket and all that stuff, then I implore the police, if they ever see this, to revisit the case and test some of those items.
Yeah, check for fingerprints, anything else that could be on those items. But the case continues to be a topic of interest among true crime communities. No new information has emerged, but it's still a big thing on online crime communities. People who live for these true crimes and like to do theory and like to talk about it and like to, But like it said, it was the VHS tape was wrapped in a camouflage jacket by the roadside. Somebody left it there to be found, or they left all their stuff there and they left in a hurry or something. They forgot their jacket.
Maybe they got murdered. That'd be cool.
Or they could have got murdered. Who knows, And then the stuff about pestle used in rituals, and herbs, and a ceramic skull. The boy might have been some satanic person, Satanist or something, just out wanting to hurt people. And just, because some people can be like that, They want to be out to hurt people and not give a damn. So, feel free to discuss this case, whether it's on Facebook, my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel, my Kick channel, Twitch, wherever you're watching, feel free to, comment, voice your opinion and your beliefs and your theories and your ideas. Share it with some of these online true crime communities. That would be kind of awesome to have some of those people who go to these forums or go to these communities on the internet and have them come talk on my channel while watching my show, the replay or whatever. Because I'm going to be doing these unsolved mystery things for a little while. Or,
I
probably,
have one I want you to feature next week. I'm going to talk to somebody about it and see if she'll be a guest for it. I'm not going to bring it up right now.
I was going to say,
I have a really good friend that is involved in Unsolved Mystery that could use some solving, and maybe we can help her.
So, we have a possible discussion next week. One of the two Unsolved Mysteries. So I'm going to try to do 2 each week. So we did the first one tonight with the Arsonist thing. That was about half of the show. So it worked perfectly. And I just implore people, if you're a true crime community person that likes this type of stuff, and you join online forums and stuff, talk about this stuff, share it with your friends that are part of that. Invite people to come watch my Thursday night shows where I talk about stuff like this. And, maybe we can get some things solved through communication and discussion and just, any clues and hints that you might find and I might find or the wife might find. It can be a good thing for anything, because people who go through things crime-wise or anything, they deserve closure in knowing what the hell happened, who the person was, or what actually happened, and all that stuff. Which brings me into the next story. Story number 2 of the night, which was also on Unsolved Mysteries back in the day. And it's called The 7-Year Torture of Cindy James. I think I remember this on Unsolved Mysteries too. As I read on, it'll probably put some things in my mind that I remember. But it says location, Richmond, British Columbia. Time period 1982 through 1989. Victim Cindy James, a nurse and counselor. And then the first thing says signs of trouble. Cindy received disturbing phone calls, whispers, threats, and eerie silence. Anonymous notes appeared, cut-out letters, disturbing messages, and death threats. Home break-ins, objects moved, destroyed, and signs of an intruder. Authorities initially believed the stalker had a personal vendetta against Cindy. I think most stalkers either have a personal vendetta against somebody or they have like a hot crush on them and they just want to be like with them no matter what. Because they crazy up in the head.
Yeah, like you stalking me.
I'm not stalking you. We married. See?
No, you did.
See the ring right
You
there?
stalked me.
No, I did not stalk
You did. You
No.
saw me. You saw me at my place of business, and then sent me a message later and stalked.
Is she turned this around to where I'm a stalker now? No, I just asked her out, so you want to go out. So, hang out. That's not stalking. That's liking something. Hello, woman. Anyways, then it was escalation. Cindy was attacked multiple times, found bound, drugged, and disoriented. Her beloved dog was killed, a clear warning. She became increasingly paranoid, installing security systems, changing locks, even moving houses multiple times. Despite physical evidence of attacks, police suspected Cindy was fabricating the harassment. Yeah, okay, I remember this story on Unsolved Mysteries. It's coming back to me now. So, the police thought she was making this all up. Or it was like all in her head or something. Like she was crazy and there was nothing happening, but she just thought there was something happening because her mind was like bringing on these things. And she just kind of went with it and made up the stories or something. So, audience questions. Why do you think the police were so quick to dismiss Cindy's claims? Just kind of throw it out of the water. Be like, nope, didn't happen, whatever. If Cindy was being stalked for 7 years, why was there no suspect ever identified? Good question, I mean, you would think that there'd be like some kind of, suspect, but she might have been crazy and just made it up. And I remember the story, and they like all
Did
these
they
different
DNA
things.
test any of the samples of the letters or anything like that? Or any of the things she was like bound with?
I don't think so. But they said anonymous notes appeared, cut out letters, and blah blah blah. But maybe that's what she told them. Maybe she didn't have like physical letters. Maybe she told them they sent letters and she threw them away or something. There's many things that's kind of non-questionable. And I don't have too much on this story, so it's kind of going to mess up my hour. Because the first story went a half hour and it worked perfectly. This one's kind of pretty quick on the talk. But try to pull out a little bit of like pulling out some time here and talking, okay? Because if you if you're old enough to where you remember the episode, and they showed like uh, her getting calls and thinking somebody's on the phone, and maybe nobody was on the phone, or like, and then at the end they found her dead or whatever, with her hands tied behind her back, and trying to. Then they tried to say, how could she like tie her hands behind her back or something. I think that's the story that this is going on. I'm not completely sure. But as of 2025, now we go to the future here, to now, there have been no significantly new developments in the case of Cindy James. Her death, which occurred in 1989, remains the subject of debate and speculation. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police concluded that Cindy's death was either an accident or suicide, while her family and some members of the public continue to believe she was murdered. And that's the part where I said she had her like hands tied behind her back. How's she gonna murder herself if her hands are tied behind her back? Or even an accident, what? She just playing around and tied her hands behind her back, and she was trying to play around, and then she fell and killed herself somehow. I don't. It's weird. In 2021, a podcast titled "Death by Unknown Event," narrated by Pamela Adlon, was released by Audible. This podcast revisited Cindy's case, exploring the events leading up to her death and the various theories surrounding it. So there's an Audible podcast that you can find called Death by Unknown Event. Hold on, everybody. People being loud over here. Okay. This is a strange mystery where people be loud. And so, you know. I know. Jason, be quiet. Sorry. You saw my green screen go all like blooper. That's a blooper for the future. You have like bloopers and stuff. But yeah, you can go find Death by Unknown Event on Audible by Pamela Adlon or something like that. And it supposedly revisits Cindy's case, exploring the events leading up to her death and the various theories surrounding it. And then you can come back and chat on the show later on, after listening to the podcast, and, you know, give your ideas, give your opinion, give your thoughts. I wanted to grow a little community with my talk radio, Kroger's Entertainment website. I want to build kind of a community where people can come and discuss things, especially on a Thursday night where we talk about paranormal and unsolved mysteries and legends of the world and all that stuff. I want people to be able to just share their thoughts, their opinions, their ideas of what could have happened or what didn't happen or whatever. But the case continues to intrigue true crime enthusiasts, like I say, you know, with discussions and analysis appearing in various forums and publications. However, as of now, no new evidence has emerged to conclusively resolve the questions surrounding Cindy James's death. So, there we go again with, you know, discussions and stuff in various forums and publications. I'd like my show to be kind of like a discussion point where people can come and discuss this stuff. And on the website, Kroger's Entertainment, I got a forum. You can go and talk radio forum and talk about this stuff too. You know, post up about it, talk about it. I'm open to that. I might even make a little forum category for just unsolved mysteries and put cases down where you can talk about it and, you know, have some fun that way. I think that would be cool. And I think that might help bring some community into my community. Let's see. Closing thoughts on that case. Unanswered questions. Two cases, or both cases. Two cases, two terrifying stories of fear, manipulation, and the unknown. Both cases remain open-ended, haunting reminders of the dangers that sometimes lurk in the shadows. Um, and like I say, I like the true crime stuff because I always feel if there's talk about it, we might be able to find hints to solve the crime or solve the mystery. And if that could possibly come from a show like my show, and we talk about it and we discuss it, come up with these ideas, and then we find something that's like undeniable. Booyah, we solve a case. Yeah, we awesome. That's what I'm saying. So final audience question for the two cases. Which case disturbs you the most and why? Like which case? 7-year harassment of Cindy James, or the arsonist who videotaped his own evil deeds? If you had the ability to reopen and investigate one of these cases, which one would it be? Would you reopen the arsonist one, or would you reopen the Cindy James 7-year harassment and her suicide and all that? Or
Cindy James one, because it's a person's life that was ended.
yeah, and she died. They don't know if it was suicide or murder, but
As far as we know, nobody died from the arson, right?
yeah, I didn't see nothing about if people died in the arsons, so I don't have evidence on that. I wouldn't say that nobody died, but who knows? People might have died. As that one said, there was something about Omar, like maybe he had killed Omar in a fire. Or something. I don't know. But it's just kind of a thing where I want to build my community of people and have good conversations about true crime, mysteries that haven't been solved, and maybe we can shed some light on those mysteries. Last week was D.B. Cooper and the Solder children or something like that. This week is Arsonist and the crazy, mysterious death of Cindy James. Next week we'll have a couple more unsolved mysteries and kind of discuss and maybe come up with some kind of ideas, theories to help solve some cases in this world. Give some people some closure, whether it's the family of Cindy James or like people who D.B. Cooper stole money from, or the Solder children, the family of the Solder children, all that stuff. I mean, people in Britain are getting a little bit of, because they kind of found out who Jack the Ripper was after all these years through DNA.
It was me.
And Jack the Ripper was a guy. You were a female. Seriously?
So you think? How do you know I'm a man?
Okay, we're not going to touch that one. We're not going to go there, okay?
Obviously this happened way before before my mother was alive. Actually, I think before my grandmother was alive.
But you want to be a smart aleck. I can be a smart aleck too and say, how do I know? Yeah, I'm not going to go there, okay? But, I just want to make Thursdays a night where we can talk about unsolved mysteries, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, other things that are just strange things of the world. Even time travel, is time travel real?
Yes, wait till we get to 2045.
And the wife is all on this 2045. We get there, we get to live forever. Because they'll figure out how to make people live forever.
We'll feature those stories soon.
I don't want to live forever.
I do.
Unless they can make me younger a little bit, okay? I don't want to be 605 years old looking like 1,000-year-old. Wrinkled, yeah.
You're already 50 that looks like 1,000-year-old.
Wow. Okay. I love you too.
You started it.
I love you too. No, I did not start it. I said I didn't want to look old. Well, I kind of started it. But you didn't have to elaborate. Seriously. Okay. But yeah, Thursdays is all about that stuff. and I'm going to keep Thursdays like that. I'm changing like one night of the week so far. Like I'm keeping Motivational Monday. That's going to be the night of just being motivated, mental health, and stuff that has to do with bettering yourself. And then Tuesdays, uh, starting in April, I'm going to change it from Transformative Tuesday because I don't need 2 nights of motivation and mental health back to back. So I'm going to make Tuesday Trending Tuesday, where I'll be talking about things that are trending in the world, whether it's TV shows or anything that could be trending, like YouTube videos, uh, songs, movies, YouTube videos, YouTube personalities like myself, anything trending. So that'd be kind of Trending Tuesday. Now I'm going to stick with Wedgie Wednesday because it goes straight up the middle of the week, so it's Wedgie. And that night's just going to be randomness. It's whatever the hell comes out of my mouth. Because wedgies are random. People come up to you and just pull your nose up your butt. It's random. Why do it? What the hell? So, Wednesdays will just be like a whatever night. That way people can be like, what are you talking about? What's the matter? I'm just, it's the middle of the week. Who cares? And then Thursdays will stay Time Warp Thursday. Talking about the mysteries of the world, legends, all that stuff. And then Friday, I'll probably keep Finally Friday for now. Just closing out the week, discussing what happened during the week, highlights of the week, kind of things that stood out throughout my shows of the week, and talk about what's coming up on the weekend. And I won't be doing shows on the weekend unless it's gaming live, like Danny's World or stuff like that. And I'll be working on D&J show here and there, so you'll probably see little tidbits of advertising for the D&J show coming up in the next month or two. I'm going to start working on it when the weather's getting better, where I can go to the park and sit out in nature and talk and do my tribute to Dan, which is what D&J show season 3 is about, showing tribute to my boy Dan, who was my co-host, my friend, my best friend, So yeah, that's kind of what that can be. So you might see some ads about it. You might hear me talking about it. You might get some little tidbits of sneak peeks of what's coming for season 3 of D&J show. We'll see. And then just, random talking on Friday night. Just kind of talking about what up. Having a guest here and there maybe and stuff like that. And the guests will still be coming Tuesday, March 25th, next Tuesday, Our Truth Music, and then April 4th, Michael Allison, and then April 10th, Brown O'Landrum. So 3 more guests coming up, 2 in April, and that's when I'm going to be doing pre-recorded stuff. So those 2 will be pre-recorded most likely, unless Brown O'Landrum wants to do it live. And then maybe I'll just make an exception because I'm going to have her on a Thursday night. So, because she's kind of into that paranormal type stuff. Like tarot card reading and just weird things like that or something. I'm not totally sure I'll have to read her stuff again. But I know she's a Thursday night guest. So, it might be a live show. And just have her with me on live show talking about whatever she does. I have to read back onto her studio. I forgot to read it, okay? I forgot. Sheesh. And my brother's gonna have a baby. That's another mystery. How is he gonna have a baby? Where's it gonna come out of? His butt?
He don't know better, you guys. He's autistic.
Yeah.
Those that watch this and don't know.
Yeah, my brother's mentally
and so
handicapped.
People have babies, so every once in a while when his stomach hurts, oh baby.
Yeah, she's severely autistic, because they have different levels of autism, and My brother Jason's kind of a severe. Because if you ever hear him blabbing, you don't understand what he says all the time. And then he's got mild to moderate retardation as well. That's what he's been diagnosed with. Autism with mild to moderate retardation. So he's got like 2 different handicaps or something. And with 15 minutes left of this show, I've done pretty good blabbing, keeping the show going, and trying to talk about building my community over on Crow's Entertainment, on my chat, whether it's Facebook chat, YouTube chat, Twitch, Kick, whatever. Go over to Crow's Entertainment. There's forums. You can post in the forums. I'll probably start an Unsolved Mystery type folder or forum that you can post on and just discuss these cases that I discuss. I'll post them up on there and you can go and discuss it. See my buddy going crazy over there. And now he gonna get in trouble because his wife's gonna be like, be quiet. And mama,
school. Shh. And Johnny on the computer. Live.
and my mama probably watching this and she's hearing Jason. She's like, oh, Jason being a gore dork.
But we love him.
Yeah, we love him.
Change him for the world.
I beat him up, but I love
would
him.
never. I'd beat you up.
No, I do beat him up. I smack him in the back of the head all the time.
Okay, they play with each other, but Jason does it to him too.
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually beat him up, so nobody like call APS or anything like that. He don't actually beat him up.
Yeah, we don't. I don't beat him up. I tease and smack him around.
Brother stuff.
I smack him around like a brother, you know. And then he'd be like punching me in the arm all softly because he like try to be all mad. Boy, watch yourself. Oh, one more quick little unsolved mystery for tonight. The wife married me. I don't understand it. It's an unsolved mystery. The theories are that she actually, loves me and wants to be with me. And then there's another theory that she just wants to beat me up all the time and throw me into a car. Or something. Or the other theory is that
I married you for your money.
Oh, yeah, she married me for my money. What money do I have?
I know.
That's why I'm asking for money with the GoFundMe, right? Oh, yeah, okay.
No, when we met and we dated, even at the time that we got married, I was making more money than he was. So.
No, see, she's in it either because she loves me or she thinks I'm crazy and just wants to pick on me and beat me up all the time.
Yeah, he was making more money at the time that we got married.
I think she married me to be able to pick on me all the time. Yeah.
It was to get revenge for you getting me fired.
I didn't necessarily get her fired. That was a misunderstanding. Anyways, 11:48. So in closing, that's basically it for this week's Time Warp Thursday. Thank you for tuning in to Talk Radio again. I hope you all stay safe, stay curious, and always keep questioning the mysteries of the world. Go check out my website. Go check out my forum on my website. And you can talk about these cases. Or you can, go to the group section where there are groups and you can, talk about unsolved mysteries. Watch my show live on my YouTube channel and chat. Watch it live on Facebook and chat. Twitch, Kick, chat. Just bring out the chat, share these videos with friends and other people that you think might be interested in unsolved mysteries, the stuff of the world that's crazy and paranormal and ghosts and aliens and me. I'm crazy. And as you noticed tonight, I didn't do no personal news stuff or business news stuff or sports or world news or TV or movies. I went straight into the mystery stuff. So I want Thursday to be its own entity of talking about paranormal stuff and all that creepy stuff and mysteries and all that stuff. not my personal news and my business news, and blah blah blah. I mean, I did mention Crow Rose Entertainment a little bit, saying go check out the forums. You can chat about these unsolved mysteries over there, and see if anything could be weaved out of these things to where people can solve some mysteries and get some answers to some lifelong mysteries of the world, like 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 why is peanut butter so good? I mean, it's a mystery of the world. We'll never understand it, and we'll never be able to put our finger on why peanut butter is so good. Even if you're dipping your finger in the jar and licking your finger, it's just delectable. You get it? Delectable. Sorry, being a dork to kind of kill a little bit more time, okay? I ain't saying my goodbye totally yet. I did my little closing little blah 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 right there, but I'm not completely done yet. I'm gonna blab for a few more minutes. Because as you see in the description, if you check in my description, it will have the link to my Talk Radio Facebook page. You can go and chat. It'll have links to Pro Rules Entertainment, GoFundMe. No more Girl Scout cookies. That's over now. So there's no link to go buy Girl Scout cookies. And there's different links to help support me and this show and Pro Rules Entertainment and all that stuff. Because it's all about support and being there and helping my show grow, especially Thursday night. Still viewership sucks tonight. That's okay. I'll get some viewers over time when people start noticing talk radio and start sharing talk radio with your friends and getting other people to watch. And then those people will get people to watch, and those people will get people to watch, and it will slowly grow, and I will become YouTube Talk Show of the Year or something. I don't know. It's such a weird thing how I talk like that. I will be working on getting headphones with one of those mic things that you can put the headphones on and talk in the microphone, so you don't get feedback or whatnot. I'll probably try to get a wireless microphone for the wife back here on Thursday nights, because she likes Thursday nights because she likes to put her input into crimes and stuff like that. She's kind of an unseen co-host, the voice from beyond, which goes with Time Warp Thursday. Where's the voice come from? It's coming from the great beyond, because she is the great and mysterious wife of mine. So,
I am the great and wonderful Oz.
there you go. The great and wonderful Oz. We're not going to call her Oz.
No, I'm the great and wonderful Freya.
Yeah, the great and wonderful Freya. Yeah, there you go. Freya from beyond. And I just encourage everybody to continue to watch, especially Thursday nights, because that's kind of the night I like the most, because I get to talk about, just unsolved mysteries, different weird stuff. And I've always been into that type of thing. And then I'm going to make a new forum in my forums for Unsolved Mysteries, and I'll start posting where you can go chat on for each little subject I do. Like the two I did tonight and the two I did last week. And you guys can go discuss it and share your thoughts and just kind of, have some good debate about things and try to solve some crimes and solve some mysteries of the world. And it would be awesome. And so, just share my show, share my channel. Help me get my viewers, help me get my subscribers, all that stuff. My likes and follows and shares. Because the wife put me up to a challenge that if I get to 1,000 subscribers, yes, I'm putting this on my show. If I get to 1,000 subscribers, I will dress up as a girl put a dress on and makeup and all that, and just sit here and be doing the show like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I guess I'll do it. Yeah. I'll be a sport. If I get to 1,000 subscribers, it's worth it. I'll dress up as a girl and have a little fun and make fun of myself. I don't know if I'll do it on a Thursday night because, well, I might, because I could use that as a mystery. How did I get to 1,000 subscribers? Why am I dressed up like a female? What the heck? So yeah, just keep coming back, keep watching, tell your friends, share, like, all that. So much love. So until next week, we'll have 2 more mysteries next week to talk about. I guess the wife already had one in mind, so me and her will discuss that and kind of plan it out, and then I'll get the second one kind of looked up and ready too. So come back next week for whatever the unsolved mysteries are next week. 2 a week, so yeah. Peace, love, and gravy sauce, and all that good stuff. And, yeah. Much love. Have a good one. 11:56. So, see, it's ending a little early. I told you sometimes it'll be a little under an hour, sometimes it'll be a little over an hour. But with the ending music, that'll put it over the hour mark. That'll put it over midnight. So, it works. Either way, it works. It'll be over an hour. No matter what. Because I'm smart and I'm good like that.
Okay.
Goodbye.